Agroecology Minute. I'm Ryan here at Blue Dasher and the Ecdysis Foundation. Today, on these cold winter days, we really like to work through a lot of insect samples from things that we collected on many farms and rangelands throughout the summer. So, when we're working through these, I'm always amazed at just how many beneficial insects there are compared to the pest species. It is a ton of beneficials. Today's Agroecology Minute, I like to just discuss some of the different beneficial insects that there are out there in the fields. So come on. So, the crazy amount of insects that we find in our samples. As you can see here, we have a graph here that shows the beneficial versus our pest species of insects, where we see there's 1,700 beneficial insects, ones that actually help us, compared for every one pest species. So we have 1,700 beneficial species for every one pest that we find out there. It's pretty remarkable. And of all those beneficial insects that are helping us as humans, there are a few main groups that I'd like to talk about today. So the first one I'd like to start off with is the pollinators. Everybody's heard of the pollinators. They're in the news every week. And those include the bees, the butterflies, and they help to pollinate our crops and many of the foods that we eat. But there's also these other groups that I'd like to discuss here as well because they're not so well known. There's ones like the predators. Now, the predators include things like lady beetles or ladybugs, maybe you've heard of that, and green lacewings. But there's also different stages of those two insects that are also beneficial to us. There's the larval stage of a lady beetle, the larval stage of a lacewing. And what these guys do, think of them as the meat eaters out there. They're like a wolf or like a bear or something. They're out there eating other organisms. So these guys actually eat other insects. The pests, for example, they love to eat aphids. There's also another really cool group called the detritivores. You might be thinking, what's a detritivore? Well, a detritivore is just something that likes to break down dead and decaying plant material. And what that benefits us is that it helps to recycle those dead and decaying plants into the soil so those nutrients can be uptaken for our plants again. So one of the ones that's very common you'll see in rangelands is the dung beetle. They're helpful because they recycle dung. Without them, there would be a bunch of poop everywhere. We don't want that. So that's a great example of a beneficial detritivore. One of my favorites is the columbella. There's hundreds or thousands of them in just a small area in many of your fields. And they're on the soil surface, and what they're doing is they're eating little bits of decaying plant material and fungus and that sort of thing. But the really cool thing that they benefit us is that what they actually poop out is a stable soil aggregate. So these guys actually poop soil. Really cool. The last group of beneficials is the parasitoids. Now Mike talked about these last time. Remember, there's these tiny little wasps about the size of a pinhead. And if we zoom in, you can see our friend the parasitoid here. And what they're doing is they're actually looking for other insects to sting and lay their eggs inside of. And what that benefits, they might sting an aphid and lay the eggs in and kill that aphid. They help control aphid populations. So you might be wondering, that's really cool. We have all these beneficial insects out there that are helping us. How do I get them into my field or pasture or conservation area? The best way to do that is to give them food and shelter. They're just like humans. So if you give them alternative foods, like maybe these predators, they might be eating a lot of other insects, but oftentimes they need other things in their diet, like they like sugar or maybe some plant material as well. So if you have a diversity of buffet of food out there for them, besides the actual pests that they're consuming, that really encourages them to be in your area. The other thing is shelter. They like a nice stable home like us, and if it's destroyed, they're leaving. So if you don't destroy their home, like if many no-till practices protect insects' homes out there, you don't spray a bunch of pesticides out there. It doesn't ruin their house. So those are the two biggest ways to encourage these beneficial insects. So stay tuned for next time. We're going to discuss more do little short features on a lot of these different things that we find in our samples this time of year. And we're also going to dive into how these things interact in communities and different ecosystems, different pastures, cornfields, or maybe conservation. So stay tuned for next time. Have a wonderful day.